another new day, day 3. This is about the 4th attempt to get these darn things done. It's not as nice today, a little bit overcast, but it's still not too bad of a day. So today, well actually yesterday, I finished drilling all those big holes. So they're all done. Now all I have to do is line them all up where I want them to go and finish attaching all the pieces where I want it to go. And then I have to silicone up around the PVC pipe. Not the pieces, I'm not gluing them at all, just in case later on I've got to go through and replace parts or change parts and whatever. Or change the configuration of the whole system. Who knows? It doesn't matter if they leak because it's only water going in there anyway, and it's where I want it to go, so I don't care if it leaks, so long as it doesn't flood. Probably one of the biggest things will be celasticing up all around the pipes. Then I've got to start shoveling stone, and my trolley still isn't fixed, so it will be basically one square tote at a time on my wheelie walker. Thank goodness I've got that. Trouble is it's a bit hard to push through that uneven lawn. It's a real son of a bee. But anyway, we'll get there. And just in looking at this garden, I was going to leave in the lawn pathways for to keep things cooler, because the lawn does keep things cooler, and also for drainage. But I have a hard time with the lawn now, and there's not much of it. It's only going to get tougher and tougher as I get older, to the point where I'm going to have to pay somebody to come in and do the lawns for me. Now, at $70 or $80 per lawn, once a fortnight, that's $70 or $80 out of your pension. That's too much. So I'm going to reduce the lawn area, and I'm going to lay down more weed fabric, and yes, I am going to poison the lawn that's already there. No, not with Roundup. I'm going to use the organic weed spray that I used on the trees out the front. It's mainly made up of vinegar, and then when I put the weed mat over the top, it will just block out all the light, and then I'll put crusher dust on top of that. Once it firms down, I may even put a layering of cement powder on top of the crusher dust, which will help firm it up. So I think that's what I'll be doing. Get rid of all the lawn here. It's only going to be a lot more work later on. And I may actually extend the garden out a bit further, probably to the end of the veranda, but that's going to be a project well down the track. Maybe by next spring, because I'd like to put in some really nice flower beds here and bring in the pollinators and the bees. So I'll be able to have a nice little veggie patch and hopefully a nice little flower garden to suit. We'll see. If you've got any suggestions, leave a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. Or better still, leave some pictures of what you've done with your gardens. That would be really good. Then we can all enjoy them. Anyway, stop blabbering on and let's get on with it. there we go. All glued up. Both inside and outside of each one. Okay, so it might not be a perfect glue job, but nobody said I was an expert. So we'll let that cure overnight and we'll just see how watertight it is tomorrow. Now in this end one, I've also got to get a probably about a 20mm clear hose, which I plan on putting a bung in the bottom and then running it up and attaching it to the side here. One, so that I can see the level of water that's in there, and also to use as an overflow bung or pipe, so that these never get real full in case of a huge big downpour. So I can just drop the hose and each one will filter into the end one and flow out the bottom. So there we go, that's it for tonight. So it will be day 4 tomorrow when we test out and see how waterproof I've got that 4 kilos of glue around each one. Well, it's a new day, and yes, back to Bunnings to pick up some pipe. This is a 19mm pipe. I may have only needed one, but I've got 2. That's alright. So, what I also will do is I've got a 19mm barb. Barb is a corner barb, just like that. I have one of them fancy doodad drill bits, and I've got it marked for the 20mm barb. Down in the bottom of this, right down the bottom. This will be our overflow, and to check the level of water. Okay, so that goes in. Now I have to cello stick this in there. But what I'll do first is I'm going to attach this pipe to the corner of the barb. To do that, I've got to heat up one end to push it over. I've just got one of those little cigarette blowtorch things. There we go. So it's pushed on nice and deep. Where are you? Sorry, I can't see the camera at all, so I'm just guessing where you are. I'm going to attach it like I did the pipes up there. Right, now we just have to wait for that to dry. Right, now we'll go and do the other side. Right, so this air hole I've got in the inlet pipe is way too small. So I'm going to put a much bigger hole in there, and then I'm going to put a little bit of fly wire sticky tape over the top so that no mosquitoes or little crawly bugs can get in. Right, so here we go. This will also allow for air to get in the pipeline, so you don't have any air blockages. Not that there would be anyway, but I'm just making doubly sure. Wire sticky tape, which you can pick up from Temu. It's good for repairing fly screens and all that sort of thing. I don't know how well it tears. No, you've got to cut it. And find some scissors. Okay, so one this side. And one, oh. There we go, on this side. That will stop any mosquitoes or other bugs getting in. Right, so there's not much more I can do there until that celastic dries up. I don't want to put water in it yet because the celastic that's in there is not strong enough to handle any water at the moment. So we'll be back a bit later. Oh, g'day everybody. It's a few days later and it's another beautiful day. So I thought we'd wander around to the new garden and just see how our wicking beds are going. So I've done some repairs on them, mainly just trying to fix up the celastic around the pipes. Now, as I said, being so low, I find it difficult to get down, right down underneath and put the celastic around. But I'm getting there. Hopefully I've stuck enough glue in there so to stop them from leaking. So now that I'm around here, I'll just turn on the tap one more time and see how they go. So let's have a look. Okay, the water's going in there okay. Going from one to the other. This one, oh yeah, there we go, our first little leak. Down, right down there. So, that's one. And the second one's pretty good so far, touch wood. The water's going in fine. Got to wait for it to get up a little bit. Hello, it's going in there, it's flowing. Yep. Still no leaks here. No. No, still no leaks there. That's excellent. And no, we're not flowing in this one yet. Hello, we're just starting. just starting. There we go. Bit more of a flow now. Okay, well it looks like from a holy flood I'm down to one little leak so far, touch wood. Yeah, that's flowing pretty well now. No leaks around our other one. No. Look at that flow now. That is great. And no leaks. Excellent. Very good. So now I will take it into the other one. So I've only got that one small leak there to fix up. That's good. Okay, so I'll just pop this into the next one. Right, let's go around the other side and see if we've got the same deal. So far so good. Yeah, we're flowing into that one. But we're not up to a level where it's going to leak just yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, we have a leak. Fairly good leak too by the look. Yep. Right. Okay, we'll turn off the hose now and see if we can fix up those two leaks. I'll have to empty the water out, of course, and see how we go. But I'm fairly happy with that so far. That's probably a fairly substantial leak, so that one will take a little while. Hang on. Okay, so we've got one there and a fairly good one here by the look. Right. I'll let it go just a little bit longer because I want to know whether this one leaks or not. And I've got to wait until this fills up a little bit more. that one's fairly running. Look at that. That one's a pretty good leak. But by the time I empty these out, today's such a lovely day, it'll dry it out fairly well. So let's turn it off, empty it out, dry it up, and see if I can plug those leaks. So here's number one. And we'll just take it into place. Now, what I've got here is some old pots, you know, that you buy from Bunnings with a plant in it. I'm using 2 of these pots per wicking barrel. I can get the darn thing out. And all I'm going to do, this is a piece of, you know, the bags that you buy in Bunnings, the great big ones. I had 2 of those ones, which I'm not going to use this year. It's made of like material that lasts for donkey's years. But anyway, I've cut out a square piece and I'm putting it inside the pot, and I'm putting that pot inside the wicking barrel. Now that is to stop the stone from going into these. Now I've also got these little saucers that will help stop the stones. Now these will become part of the wicking solution. So I'm just placing them in there like that. I'll probably have to move them around a bit when I'm pouring the stone in, but unless I siphon all the water out, which I don't need to, so I'm not. And what that will do is, you've got the stone around here, which will be part of your well. Your pots, I'm going to put wicking material in, so the water wicks up from the bottom of the pots, wicks up into the potting medium up here, and therefore keeps a sustainable amount of water inside the potting medium or moisture. Anyway, that's my idea of it, and hopefully it works well. It should do. I do have to get a piece of geofabric or shade mesh or something to go on the top of the stones to stop the potting medium falling through and clogging up the system. So when I've got the stones in there, I will find a piece of, or cut a piece of shade cloth, I've got plenty of it, to go on top of this and inside these pots, and then start the next level of the wicking process. So let's get the stones put in first. Looks like I'm going to at least need another one. Okay, so now you can see that I've got your moisture filled well, plus your two inserts there that are full of water, ready to wick up water into the potting media up here, or the planting media. So now all I have to do is find or cut a large piece of shade cloth to go over the top of that, and then I will put something in those wells that will wick up water and won't rot. I'm thinking probably river sand. That will wick up fairly well and it won't go stale or stagnant, and that will wick into, first of all, the horse manure that I will have on top, and then into the potting mix. So let's find some shade cloth. Okay, so I have the shade cloth. Now don't worry about it if it's got like holes and things like that in it, because this is mainly just to keep the bulk of the basically the bulk of the potting mix out of your stones. So I'm just going to cut a little bit there for the inlet pipe, so to go around. There we go. I've made it bigger than what the which means I've got to cut this. I'll put another one in later. I've made this shade cloth larger than what was around, and that's so that I can actually tuck it in around the side and tuck it in where I need to. So now these wells, I'll do just what I did with the pipe. So that it will go down and open up. Now, down the sides, I will tuck in, down underneath the stone substrate. Of course, being careful around our pipe outlet, because of course we don't want to break the seal. That will help keep the stones in place and keep the substrate tucked in under as well and in place. And where the pipe is, I'm just going to fold it down over the top. It'll stay in place, it'll be fine. Right, that I will fill up with sand when I have some. So, you get the general drift of what I'm doing here. So now, what I will do is I will fill up a few more of these barrels with the stone substrate. And then I'll get back to you when I've got some sand that I can fill in this here or something similar. I may get some large cocoa coir and use that instead. I've used that before, it works quite well. So I'll be back with the next step. Right, well, I've just been down to Bunnings and I picked up 3 bags of the children's washed play sand. So these are what I'm filling the wells up with. Now these will become the wicks because they'll be constantly drawing up moisture. Press it down, make sure it's fully packed in there, and I'll probably go around the outsides of the barrel as well. Just to tuck in those stones, and that will also help to draw up any moisture from the barrel. It'll also be a bit of a layer as well. Okay. I would actually like to put probably about an inch of sand in here, but unfortunately it would just cost too much. So I won't be doing that because it looks like one bag is only going to suit 2 barrels. So now that I have that in place, I'll get the next layer. And what I have is a big bag of wood shavings, which will go on top of this sand to help to keep it clean and also help with the wicking as well. You can use straw if you want, if that's what you have, use it. But this is what I have. And it gets rid of a waste product that I had from when the cats were using it as cat litter. So it will also help wick up the moisture. Right. So this is what I have at current level. That's the wood shavings on top of the sand. Now we go in with the next layer, and that is a bag of horse manure. goodness, this one's a heavy one. May only need half a bag for this. That'll be good. Okay. Now that top part there, which I've yet to buy, and I can't buy any more until I've finished filling up the barrels with the substrate, is the potting mix. So that's left probably a good 10, maybe 12 inches there to fill in. So I will probably fill that up as high as I can when I get the potting mix. And because this will probably sink down a little bit before I'm ready to plant in it. So that's all I can do on that one until it's time to get the potting mix put in. So let's move on to the next one. So first is the sand. So here is the first layer with sand. Now this one, I don't have any more of the sawdust, so what I do have is a large bag of, I think it's sugarcane mulch. So I'll just go and get that and I'll be right back with you. Right, so we have the sugarcane mulch. And yes, it's got a lot of leaves and stuff from the old house in here, but they're all breaking down as well. It'll all be mulch. It'll all be food for the new microbes that hopefully will grow in there fairly soon. In the meantime, they will wick up moisture into whatever I put in there. Plus it's already starting to break down. Right, that's a good layer. So here we are with the second layer. And now for the third layer, which is the horse poo. Right, that's number 2 done. Let's see if we can get a third. Here we go. What are you two doing? Barney, stop being a bully. Go on. Barney's into trouble again. Okay. So I think with this mulch, I don't think I'll have to use as much sand, which is good. So I don't have much of it. Right, now we'll get some horse poo. Barney being a bully patches. See? You tell him to bugger off. Right, now this horse poo will be in here probably a few years actually, breaking down, keeping the worms and the microbes and the plants all happy. And there we go, that's 3 done. And that's it until it's time to put the potting mix on the top. See how much of a layer I've left so that I can put a fair amount of potting mix in the top, or whatever I choose to put in there to grow it in. I'm finding that potting mix is probably best for the moment. So we'll see how we go with it, eh? We'll see down the track whether it was a good choice or not.